What's up guys, it's your boy BeweNNN. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing great. Well, I'm doing fine myself, you know what I'm saying? I'm just still recovering from that bad hair, which is why I still got like my cap on. I like capping as much as I'm yapping, you know what I'm saying? So today I feel like doing another Arknights build, but today's build is definitely a little bit different because you see, like a long time ago I did actually like make this poll on like should I do guns, and like the majority of people said I should actually make a gun, and so we're gonna be doing a weapon of a character today who uses a gun. And what other character in Arknights uses a gun if it's not Exusiai? Apple pie? I don't know, bro. Fuck it, I'll just go with Exusiai because that's like the most comparable way for me to pronounce her name. So anyway, Exusiai is a 6-star sniper who's been around since the beginning of the game. I remember she's actually like one of the, like probably the third or fourth first 6-star I got, and she's been like throughout the entire Arknights journey with me, which is why I want to build a weapon dedicated to my Arknights career with her. Now seriously, who does not love this vector using apple pie eating, property damage crime committing angel with a gun? Like dude, everybody loves her except for the dude who made this cursed abomination. I guess I'll just cut straight to the point. We're gonna be building Exusiai's Kriss vector. And how are we gonna do that? So first we're just gonna begin with the free model itself. For this one, I'm just gonna be using this software called Fusion 360. It's also very user-friendly, which is why I really do enjoy using it for basically all of my projects here on YouTube. Now this is the first time I'm ever doing guns, but like even though this is the first time, I'm already going balls deep. You guys know the kind of person I am. I just really like to put as much detail on this thing. And what better detail can I put on this thing if it ain't mechanisms, bro? So yeah, this design, I'm just gonna go and jam pack this thing with a bunch of different mechanisms, and just trust me guys, you are gonna f***ing love it. So modeling this sword took me about like an entire week, with a lot of like revisions here and there, but here as you can see it's finally done, and I gotta say, in a glance it definitely does come close to like an IRL Kriss vector. Anyway guys, if you guys feel like building this vector on your own, I've got the model in my Patreon in the description below. You can go check it out and get it right there. And now, once we finally have like our model done, I'm basically just gonna export them into a bunch of different pieces, and then we're gonna import them to this software called Cura. Now Cura is a slicing software. So basically what it does is that it turns like this 3 model that we have right here into a bunch of lines of codes that the printer can read in order to make our part. And so here I'm just gonna go drag and drop my stuff right here, and then now as you can see there's like a bunch of different stuff we could do in this thing. Firstly, we can just like orient the parts. Like usually for my sword builds I just like put like the place like diagonal on the build place so I get just as much space as I could. For this one, since the parts are small, I'm just gonna try and fit as much as the mid one go. And then once that's done, we can just go and fiddle around the settings right here. So here we could basically just manipulate how much material goes into the print, and also just like how fast the printer goes. There's a lot that you could play around with, but like if these settings look a little bit too intimidating for you, I'm just gonna go and like scroll on this thing slowly so you guys could just like copy the settings that I'm using right here. Now with that part done, I'm just gonna go and save it into my SD card, and I'm just gonna go and send it to my printer so we can just get printing. So all you gotta do is just select the file that you want to print, wait for a couple of minutes for the printer to heat up, then we should be finally good to go. So guys, it's been about 2 weeks, and I finally got every single part that we need for the vector to be built already printed out and laid on the table, as you guys can see right here. And I gotta say, like, this is the first time in my life that I've ever actually had so many random different parts for one project like here. Honestly, I didn't actually have to design this vector to have that many parts though. But as you guys know the kind of person I am, I like to dump a ton of effort into one shit. So I really just want this build to be really fun to assemble, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, remember that time when we used to like pop open boxes of Legos and then there's just like a load of parts all over the place? And then the joy of like putting all those parts together into building this one beautiful build. Dude, I really just want you guys to like feel the same way I do when I'm building this kind of shit that I'm saying. However, the thing is, with Legos, you usually have like one of those manual books to tell you what to do to build this thing, right? Well, sadly, I don't. This video is the tutorial. So with that being said, I think we should like start to formulate a plan on how we're gonna be doing this thing. Right, so based on the CAD design that I made, I've actually like divided this vector into a few main components, like a few main groups, so that we could like assemble it much easier, and then we're gonna be combining it at the end. Now, mainly the parts that we're gonna be doing in this step is the upper receiver, upper mechanism, lower receiver, and lower mechanism. The other parts we're gonna assemble them later. We are gonna have a little bit of welding involved, which is basically a process of like combining two parts using a hot soldering iron. But this is gonna be like significantly less compared to like the usual sword builds, because I'm only gonna be using it on these two main casings, because these things are too big, they don't fit my ender printer, which is why I had to like split them apart, and that's why we're gonna have to combine them using the welding process. Aside from that, for the assembly process, I do recommend you get yourself a screwdriver and a set of Allen keys. I'm gonna be working with a lot of bolts on this thing. I haven't actually counted them yet, but like specifically how many, I'm gonna put like a shopping list down there in the description below. So you guys could actually like go to your local Home Depot and just like grab a few before actually starting this project. So yeah, with that being said, let's just get on with the assembly. Alright guys, so I finally got like the main body all put together right here. And now what we're gonna be doing is that we're gonna be welding the casing together. Now if you look at the vector, it's basically this line right here as well as this line right here. So the tool that we're gonna be using for this step is this thing. It's called a soldering iron, which is basically a tool that converts electricity into like a fuckload of heat. And what we're gonna be using this for is that we're gonna be like melting the areas that we want to combine, and then as they melt they're gonna like fuse together, and that is what combines them into like one solid piece. Now I gotta warn you, if you're gonna be doing this step, you're gonna want to wear a respirator and probably some goggles as well, because you're gonna get like a lot of nasty fumes from this thing. So yeah, just to keep yourself safe. Now you might be wondering like, oh, why do you gotta like wait until this much step before actually like combining the major pieces together? Well, I think there's like this trick in engineering. You could like pin parts based on their holes first, and so that when you're actually combining it, holes that are like bolted on would actually just like hold the parts for you, so that you would get a more precise weld. Yeah, that's basically it. So that out of the way, let's get welding. So guys, here it is, the vector in all of its glory. It's finally put together. So this thing took me about like 3 hours to put together, and an extra 3 hours to send the parts because like the tolerances are all off. Well, that's kind of expected from like two old ass ender printers. I think I'm gonna have to retire them soon. Anyway, here it is. Exusiai vector is finally fucking put together. Man, I'm really just like so happy to finally see the entire gun put together, because I spent like a week, like a little over a week, just modeling this thing, and damn bro, shit just looks so fucking glorious now, doesn't it? Boom. Apurupai, bitch. So now that this gun is finally put together, let's just quickly go over the features that I've put in this thing now, shall we? So like right off the bat, you could see like this entire thing is designed pretty damn accurately to an IRL vector. This is like where the bulk of my 3D modeling went to. I researched a lot of YouTube videos on how vectors work, and as a result I was able to like design the interior as well as the exterior of the vector relatively accurate to its real life counterpart. Like as you guys could see in the assembly phase, you could even like field strip this just like a real one. And so this is also like the first kind of weapon that I do that actually have like moving parts. And for like the first project I did, I gotta say like I definitely did went all out. This thing's got a charging handle right here, and it's also packed with this torsion spring that like folds the handle back in place. And then if you look at the back, we've also got like a moving trigger, which if you pay attention closely in the assembly phase, you realize that this trigger is actually connected to this safety switch. So basically you could like switch this thing upward to, and then you won't be able to pull the trigger, but if you like toggle it back to F, you could basically just like pull the trigger just like the real thing. And then next up, we've also got like a triple fire mode. Vectors basically have like 3 modes, basically like single shot, burst fire, and full auto.
I'm not full auto. It's not full auto.
That's not full auto?
This is. That's full auto.
Damn, bro.
I've also designed this to somewhat lock in place. And then what is a gun if you can't remove the magazine? So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this thing does come with a removable mag. That's got to be by far like the most satisfying part of the gun in my opinion. And as we move on to the back section here, we've also got a folding stock. You can just like press this button and the stock will just come out and fold sideways, which would definitely make it easier if you want to bring it around in a small bag. And also this stock does feature an extending buttstock, but you're gonna have to like unscrew this thing first before actually like pulling back and then screw it back again. And last but not least, this thing also does come with 2 types of sights, laser sights and iron sights. You could use either of them or both at the same time. The iron sights are also foldable and they're also bolted on. If you don't want it, you can just like take the bolt off and just release it. Oh, and this thing is actually supposed to come with a foregrip, but like I'm putting it at the moment, so yeah, I think that one's gonna come a little bit later. Right, now with that out of the way, the next thing we're gonna be doing to this thing is we're gonna tear it apart. What? What the f? Dude, we just spent like 3 hours putting this thing together and now you're gonna want to tear it apart. Well, yeah bro, cause like, as you can see, this thing is not done yet. Cause take a closer look. From the 3D printing process itself up to like the welding process, this model has been going through a lot and there's definitely bound to be a few damage on the surface, which is something that we're definitely gonna want to be cleaning up. Alright, so I finally got like the gun stripped down, and these are basically like the pieces that we're gonna be working on. So it's basically like the lower receiver, the upper receiver, the mag, the buttstock, the barrel, and also the sights basically. So for the setting process, I usually recommend these 2 tools. This one's the hand file. You can probably just like go to your nearest Home Depot and just grab this shit for like 10 bucks. But I tell you, this thing is actually pretty damn OP. You really do want to have this in your arsenal. So this, I'm just gonna use it for like the welding blobs that occur during the welding process. Because like this thing could travel in a straight line, and I think that's basically what it's good at. Just in case if like the hand file is too big for those ridges that it cannot fit. I also have the handheld Dremel right here. And basically it's just gonna like go and spin the rotary bit at really fast speeds. Should basically be able to like back up the hand file just in case if it doesn't fit. So yeah, let's get started. Okay guys, so I've been sanding this thing for quite a while now, and I think I'm just gonna like stop at this point. Now in my other video, I would usually just like head straight to like a finishing process, which basically means that I'm just gonna like do like a full pass on the entire surface of this thing. We're not gonna be doing that anymore. In the past few videos, I've been doing that, and honestly, the ROI really just wasn't that good. I mean, I spent a fuckload of energy and time, and honestly, it didn't really turn out as good as I'd expected. But like, worry not, I've actually came up with another solution. So I've been watching like a few videos on YouTube, right, on like how to improve like 3D print finishes, and I stumbled upon a method called resin coating. For those of you who don't know what resin is, it's usually a two-part epoxy that you just mix together, and then it's just like shaped into a bunch of different stuff, you know. It actually looks pretty, and on top of that, this thing is actually quite tough, which basically is gonna make our build, well, obviously tougher, which is definitely a plus point. Now, I'm actually doing this for the very first time, so I'm not really sure how it's gonna go, but like these are the parts that I've selected that are gonna go through like the resin coated, because like these parts are gonna be the ones that are painted anyway. So I'm just gonna go and grab these two containers right here, a scale, and some measuring cups. Now, based on the instructions, if you're gonna want to be trying this yourself, you're also gonna be needing like a pair of gloves and obviously like glasses and some masks. This thing is known to be a little bit toxic, and yeah, you gotta like protect yourself somehow. So what I'm going to be doing now is that I'm going to be mixing these two substances right here. And so basically, I'm just going to be pouring like 2 parts A and 1 part B. So we're going to want to be measuring it using a scale, because like I heard that's like the most accurate way to like measure resin. It's even written that it's like the more suggested method to like get your ratios correctly. Now, I really do think that like getting the numbers right is pretty essential here. So we're just going to like get it as accurately as possible. Now, this might vary from product to product, like there's actually like a 1-to-1, but like I ended up with like a 2-to-1 ratio that I bought on Amazon. So once we got like the numbers, I'm just gonna be like mixing this thing. Be sure to like mix this thing like really damn good, because if not, it's probably not gonna activate too well. And like once that's mixed, what we're gonna be doing is that I'm just gonna like brush the solution all over our build and probably just leave it for 2 days. The reason why I decided to like switch to resin coating instead of like doing the second pass finish is because like resins do have like a thick and blobby kind of texture to it, and I guess if you like put resin on the surface, it's definitely gonna like spread around and basically just cover up holes and any parts that aren't really flat. And usually in my previous projects I would just use a lot of paint on top of each other, but I think this one looks more like a proper way to do it. So yeah. So guys, fast forward to about 48 hours. As you guys can see here, like all the parts have finally dried out. It's already cured, it's already set in stone. And now we can basically just check on the results. And I gotta say that for the first time of trying this technique, it turned out okay though. I know like the surface might have looked wobbly and all that shit, but like I would say it's actually far better and far more efficient than having to like sand the entire surface down like a complete madman. And so I'm probably gonna make this like my staple finishing technique from here on out. However, I would say like the surface is not entirely perfect though. There's definitely like a little bit of the inconsistency in the reflection, but like this is actually like more of the watery kind of inconsistency, you know. It's actually like much better than having like ridge or holes or weld marks and all that shit, which is definitely like one of the advantage of like coating your 3D print builds with resin. But even then, I would definitely just like give the finished parts a little bit of an extra setting just to be sure. And now that we're done with this step, we can just like go to the paint booth and begin with the painting. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the paint booth. So as you all know, we're finally at like the last step of this process. Yay! So before we actually get into it, let me quickly explain the plan real quick. But seriously, for this build, who even needs a plan? If you look at the design of the vector itself, it's actually brain dead simple. There's like literally only 3 color schemes on this thing. It's only black, desert cream, and a little bit of silver. Dude, we could almost even like get this paint job done in one swoop. So first of all, we're gonna be starting off with the black, which is basically gonna be like the majority of the gun. Basically any part that isn't the lower receiver, the charging handle, and the bolt release is gonna be topped in black. Now what you're gonna be doing is that you're just gonna wanna like grab your spray can, basically just like apply a generous amount of spray can to it until the entire surface is just like covered nice and consistently. Then after that, you might wanna like move your part somewhere safe to let it dry. And then I'm just gonna go and like grab the lower receiver here, and then we're just gonna head straight with the desert cream color. I'm using one of these military paint creams because this color scheme is actually based on the real life desert cream version of the Vector. I basically thought like, oh cool, this is exactly just what I need for my Vector build. And well, now once that's done, set the lower receiver aside, and then we're gonna be working on the last 2 minor pieces. The charging handle and the bolt block. Now for this one, I'm gonna be using metallic silver because like it's a more of a like low maintenance kind of paint compared to like the chrome silver. Also, I would say like the chrome silver definitely look nicer because of its reflection, but it's actually quite a bitch when it comes to moving parts because like you really just don't want this thing to like get scratched up with the other parts when it's like put together. Now with all the components done, let's bring everything to the attic. Black and silver parts are done at this point, but we still got a bit of work on the cream colored lower receiver. We want to apply a bit of black on the wing shape as well as this little slot right here. Now, I'm terrible at drawing, so I decided to like mask it for extra cleanness. Masking works by applying masking tape on the areas where you want to separate the paint. Then you want to draw out the wing symbol. Because I'm pretty much retarded at manual drawing, I had to retry the design a few times. But yeah, I think this looks good. If you're happy with the shape, cut it out with a cutter and then peel the areas where the black comes in. And then you've got a clean border on your shape. I pause. A little bit of a note. For this part, I kind of actually did mess it up. So the second I applied the black paint, like basically the area in which the cream paint was exposed actually kind of like started peeling, and basically it destroyed the entire paint job altogether. I think what happened is either one, I'm a dumbass who doesn't read instructions. I should have like shaken this thing like much harder so that the thinner would actually like mix with the black paint, because you know maybe this cream paint that I got here is a little bit sensitive to thinner. Or two, these two spray cans aren't compatible to begin with, so which is why I decided to redo the entire paint job for the lower receiver. And then because it's just a minor detail, I'm basically just gonna like color it using some black permanent markers instead. After getting the black in, peel off all the masking tape, and then we have a complete paint job. All that's left is to put the parts together for the last time. Dude, I am so freaking excited to see this shit taking shape. Follow my lead.
Look around you, everything's black and white. Oh, how simple is that? Don't you know that? It's about the way you look at this world. Go straight to the left, go back and right. Without a plan, you can't win, no. You gotta have a little mouth inside. Oh, you're on oh. Try to live where you have been, nobody was there to tell you
So, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Exusiai Kriss Victor SMG. My first 3D printed gun ever. Honestly, like for the first time, I gotta say, this is one hell of a build. Like seriously, it's got everything you could ever ask for in a gun. In case you missed the features of this, let's just go through it real quick. So it's basically got a working trigger which you could like pull back and forth. It's also protected by this safety switch. As you switch it upwards, it's gonna lock, but if you switch it downward, you can like pull it back and forth normally. And then we've also got like a 3-way fire selector, a single shot, burst, and full auto. Then we've also got like a folding stock, which definitely helps if you're trying to like carry this thing in a bag or something. And then we've also got like a bunch of indexable parts, such as the front sight, the rear sights, the laser sights, and also the hand grip at front. It's also got a working charging handle, which actually spring folds just like the real thing. And last but not least, the most satisfying part, a removable magazine so you could like reload this thing. And yeah, honestly, for like my first gun build ever, I would say like the surface finish on this thing is like clean as fuck. Like the other day I brought this to my friend's place and they were all like, bro, this shit is clean as hell, you know what I'm saying? So I guess we could totally say that the resin trick definitely worked. Even though we definitely did have to go through a few extra steps and like a few extra days to wait for the resin to cure, but I think it's definitely well worth putting into the procedure to get rid of the layer lines relatively quickly. So yeah, with that little bit of a presentation out of the way, let's take this baby out for a spin now, shall we?
Mission accomplished.
So guys, that was Exusiai Kriss Victor. Absolutely insane gun build right there. But now we've came to the end of the video. So how you guys like it? You guys had a lot of fun watching the video? If you guys do, before you go, definitely go hit that like and subscribe button. It will definitely help me a lot as a small creator. And share this video to a fellow gun lover if you will. Also, I've got an Instagram now. It's the top link in the description. I usually post day-to-day life there, so if you're interested, go follow right there. And also, I've got a Patreon now, so if you guys wanna like donate a little bit, go hit the second link in the description below. That being said, I wish you all have a good day. Say you look.